Hey guys, welcome to KM Reviews. I am Niddleman. This time I'm bringing you the review for Hacksaw Ridge. And I'm not going to waste a lot of time. I'm going to tell you right away, this is one of the best movies that has come out this year. And it is definitely one of the best war films that has come out in a long time. I am calling it right now. This is going to be one of those movies that is a classic for years to come. Right now, a lot of us, we always refer to Saving Private Ryan or Black Hawk Down when we refer to the best war movies. This movie, Hacksaw Ridge, is going to be one of those movies. 10 years from now, we're going to be talking about this movie. It is that good. So this movie depicts the true story of Desmond, who is an army medic during World War II at the Battle of Okinawa. Now the unique thing about this guy is that he was a conscientious objector, which if you're not familiar with what that is, it's a person who, due to their own conscience, they were served to perform in the armed forces, yet he's joining the army. So what he does is he refuses to touch a weapon throughout all of training, throughout all the battles. He does not want to touch a weapon. He does not want to kill anybody. He is there strictly to save people's lives. Now obviously this is a pretty unique and strange situation, and it leads to some of the better story elements throughout this movie. That's one of the biggest pros of this movie, is the story. And it's a true story, which is crazy to me because this guy does some crazy stuff. I'm not going to go into too many details of it because I want to leave this spoiler free and let you experience it for yourselves because I found it very interesting, but just realize the story is a big pro. Now another amazing aspect to this movie is the characters and the character development, because the problem a lot of movies like this have is they have one note, one-dimensional, stereotypical type of characters. You have your nice guy, your asshole, you're this, you're that, whatever, it's simple. This movie, every character is a fucking human being. They have layers to who they are and why they are the way they are and how they develop from being one thing at the beginning of the movie to another thing at the end of the movie. They all have their character arcs and they do it so well. And again, like Andrew Garfield, he's such a charismatic, nice guy, and you feel for him, you just want to root for this guy, and you see his development and his struggle with trying to keep his morals and his values throughout the movie and how hard that is. You see this love story with him and Teresa Palmer's character and how that develops, and they do it very quickly at the beginning, but their chemistry is so good and it's so believable and you want to root for their relationship. You have these people in his basic training who hate his guts because they don't understand him or why he doesn't want to hold a gun and how they treat him, and then how, as things happen in the movie, how they grow to respect him like no fucking other person in history. You have his superiors who are, you know, they're down his back and they're just all over him. And, you know, people like Vince Vaughn, he has some comedic elements to him. There's some comedy relief in this, but he's also a serious character, and he doesn't just feel like he's thrown in there for comedy. He feels like a real person. But the biggest shout out I have to give is to Hugo Weaving. The reason for that being is because we are so used to seeing Hugo Weaving in confident, powerful roles like Agent Smith or Elrond or characters like that. This is the first movie I've ever seen him in where he plays a weak, vulnerable character. He is a drunk father who's been in war before. He knows what it's going into, but he loves his kids. And you can just see that even though he's this guy that he like beats his family, he still fucking loves them. And there's a reason he does what he does. And there's a reason he feels what he feels. And his development in the movie and his respect for his kids is just so interesting to see. And everyone's acting ability in this movie is just so high. I could see Oscar nominations for multiple people in this movie, especially Andrew Garfield and Hugo Weaving. But let's not forget one of the biggest aspects of this movie, and the reason a lot of war people want to see it, the actual war fighting scenes, the gun battles, the fighting, the craziness involved. One of the reasons this movie does it so well is because you're along the ride with the characters throughout this movie. They don't just throw you in there into the war scenes and it doesn't have the same impact. Instead, you're going through training with them. You're going through this situation where they're hearing about how bad war is, but they don't really know. And then when war hits, when they get into that battle, it fucking hits, and you are almost in your seat ducking for covers because just the sound of the bullets, the impact it has when it's hitting them, the visuals of seeing how traumatic this can cause people to... Oh man, it's just so intense. I can't even describe it. I just remember everyone in the theater being like, "Ugh, my God! Like, holy shit, it was hard to breathe sometimes because you just felt like you were there. And this movie by no means glorifies war. In fact, it shows you how devastating it is and how it's just, I can't believe this really happened. The way this guy was this medic and saving so many people's lives without firing one bullet. It's just fucking crazy, man. I only have one negative for this movie, and it is a minor nitpick, but it still bugs me, is that he has a brother in this movie, and he joins the military as well, but you never find out what happens to him. He just kind of like is there and he joins, and then who knows? They have a bunch of text at the end with what happens to certain people, but they never talk about what happens to his brother. I want to know if that guy lived or died or what the hell happened. They never say. Or if they did, I completely spaced it out because I was so in awe of everything else. But I don't know. They needed to finish a couple of those story arcs a little bit. They kind of threw in some things there, and they never really finished telling you where some of these characters ended up, and I really wanted to know. Needless to say, guys, I think you can tell I'm going to have to give this movie marriage material. This movie impacted me hard, and I think it will impact you hard as well. Guys, if you see this movie and you like it, I highly suggest you go see the movie Anthropoid. Check out my review on that by clicking the little I above. That is another great war movie that came out this year that went really far under the radar, but it was such a good movie. Go see both these movies. So let me know, what's one of your favorite war films and why did it impact you so much? Let me know and comment below. Also, you can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, pretty much everything at Niddleman. And if you want to see some more movie reviews coming out every single week, make sure you subscribe if you can handle it. Go.